All right. Today is Cyber Monday, so we thought we would do something fun and go live here and just build some brands. Let's use AI to make some magic happen. My name's Andrew Lane. I'm joined by my wife, Steffi Lane. How's it going, Steffi?
Amazing. Hello.
Hello. So we've got a really fun workshop for you today. We're going to go through and build 3 brands. We're going to go through a process that you can follow for any brand you ever want to build in the future. Same step-by-step process that we use with our clients, and now we can do it 10 times faster with AI. So we're going to show you how to do that today, and doing it live with AI can be tricky. So hopefully tech holds up today and things go smooth. But the big idea we want to walk you through, even if the AI isn't cooperating, we can show you some big idea concepts that can really help you out going into 2026. And the things we're going to cover today are, first off, the 3 things that you need: marketing, messaging, and monetization. Those are the foundation of a profitable online brand. Organize your visual direction. So how to get organized, how to get optimized, and then how to maximize your income to have more scalability and more freedom. And I'm going to show you something that we have been testing a lot with clients, which is going through this process of using AI to help you turn an idea into an identity really fast. And the beauty of AI is you can experiment really quickly in what used to take hours of research going back and forth. You can pick a visual direction really fast and then start to build that out and see what it looks like with realistic mock-ups and designs. And that's the big breakthrough in 2025 is AI started to create better visual content. And recently, in what it was November of 2025, this new Nano Banana Pro model got way better. And now it can actually design and create incredible graphics in your brand style and help you see your brand come to life in literally a few seconds. So we're going to talk about how to go through this process, what that looks like, and what is possible going into next year is you can actually start to use AI to create graphics. These were some ad tests we were generating in one click with AI. It can do so much of the creative work for you, but you do have to be organized and you do have to give it direction for it to do it well. And that's what we're going to go through today.
And if you're listening right now live, put where you're listening from. Where are you located in the world? We are in Austin, Texas.
All right, we got some people live. That's cool. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the comments too, and we'll get into it. So first off, we'll go through a quick crash course for you guys to get you caught up. There's 3 things that winning brands do well. And Steph, when I'm talking, if I'm showing the screen, you can just switch to this view there. So it's a little bit more on the screen.
The small one.
All right, so 3 things you got to focus on. This is really when it comes to AI and all the cool tech and everything that you see that people are doing online. It comes down to 3 main things: marketing, messaging, monetization. That just means attracting more leads, converting more sales, and the magic is delivering more value at scale. So you do want to optimize what you're already doing, whether maybe it's services, whatever you're doing, even if it's your job, just get that figured out and get that dialed in. And then you will start to stack value and add new ways to make money around your expertise, your passion, or just the product or service that you're selling. So we can get deep into all the strategy of each of these, but the magic is, how do you get AI to help you with all that? And how do you get this up and running? So the big problem here is most people want the same thing. You want more money, more impact, more freedom. But when you start to build out an online brand or an online business, you quickly realize that it's much harder than it looks. And most people get stuck all the time in one of these phases: researching and planning, designing graphics, agonizing over what to say, tinkering with tech. And you end up spending a lot of time on the setup and very little time on actually making money and growing. But the big advantage here is that the authority brands, the ones who do this well and they get those 3 things figured out, they have a huge advantage over everybody else. Mm-hmm. So you've probably noticed this, that, and maybe Seth, you can chime in on this. The top brands, the ones who are showing up, when you're searching on YouTube, that are doing podcasts, that are showing up all the time in your feed, they're attracting all of the opportunities, all the sales, all the customers, and everyone else is just fighting over the scraps.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see that people that have built the authority brand, they can put like a couple offers out there and they sell out really fast. And then I see other people that are putting a ton of offers out there, trying all the things, and it's crickets. So it's really important to build the authority brand because that's when you get more of, the cash, the clients, the opportunities.
Yeah, and it's not even about just posting more and more, because I've had a lot of people come to me and they say like, "Oh, I've done like, 4,000 posts." One guy was like an affiliate marketer, and he's like, "I did 4,000 posts," and he made like 0 sales. And I'm like, "Oh, I posted like a few times into my group, and I
Yeah,
became a
it's not
top
about posting
affiliate."
more, but smarter.
Yeah, so the brand means having a resonance, connecting with your audience, actually providing value and building trust with them. So it's the quality, not just doing the things, but how well you do them. And the visuals, the way it looks, the way it feels, your ability to communicate and package up your ideas is more important than ever, especially now with AI content flooding the market, where you see just content everywhere. And a lot of it, they call it slop, AI slop. Like people are doing more and more, but it doesn't mean it's going to convert to an authority brand and more income for you. So you do have to have quality, and that's a skill that I think is going to be really important in the next couple of years. And this is kind of the play and how we're looking at it for ourselves and our clients. 2026 is going to be a really big year, and it is a huge opportunity to grow your business faster than ever. People are trying to figure out how to use AI tools. You've probably been tinkering and playing around with things yourself. The truth is, AI amplifies what you give it. So if you give it, unorganized chaos or just kind of cookie cutter content, or if you're trying to copy and paste other people, it may not do much for you. It'll do things. It'll make posts, it'll write stuff, it'll make graphics, but how good are they? And are they going to actually help you build that top 10% authority brand? Most likely not. You have to give it a little bit of your own magic, and you have to give it clear strategy, a strong brand voice, because people do want people who actually are obsessed. I would say they want to follow people who are really in it, like trying to help them out. And I think you can notice that, why are the podcasts becoming so popular? Because people like to listen to people who are obsessed with topics, right? And you probably notice in your own behavior, like when you go and research something, you're going to go try to find the person or the brand who have built that credibility over time. They have the testimonials, the stories, they have the credibility, they're in it, right? And that's really what it comes down to. It's a combination of using AI, but also amplifying the right things and building something over time. And AI can help you do that. So I'm not here to tell you to just make a bunch of AI slop and put it out there and expect that to change anything. You do have to be passionate about what you're doing. You do have to have a long-term vision of what you want to build, and AI can help you do that more effectively. All right, catch my breath here. But to do that, you have to have the foundation in place. So you need to get organized. And we do that in our Brand Builder Club with our mood board method. That's kind of what we're focused on, is helping, every individual and every company do this right and make this way faster and easier. So
And real quick,
go ahead.
before you go to the next slide, we have we have someone from Australia listening in.
What's up?
And then Jackson says, here we go.
Yeah, doing some live. We're having some fun today. Happy Cyber Monday in the US. Haven't done a lot of live streams, but just wanted to fire it up and give you a little behind the scenes. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff today, but we're going to start with this foundation, and then we're going to build out some brands right before your eyes, and just try to share a little bit of behind the scenes. We don't expect a lot of people live today, but the recording should be super valuable.
And we love interaction, though, so feel free to type a bunch of comments in there and share.
If you're hanging out watching, let us know.
Okay.
But this stuff is pretty new. I haven't shared this stuff before, so this is kind of our plan for 2026, how we're looking at things, what we're doing for our own business and for our clients. The 3 phases we're looking at here that I think everyone can go through and really just see where you're at right now, do a quick assessment. The organization is step 1. Are you organized? Do you have, I'm kind of just, this is like from our sales page, but basically, do you have a clear plan and a stable platform without the confusion? So the 3 things that we do for the organization phase is getting your vision very clear. What's your plan for the next year? You can do that pretty quickly, but it also comes down to like, who do you help? How do you help them? What situation is your target customer in? What examples of success do you have, right? So it comes down to proof. What's unique about how you're doing it? What's your own story behind what you're doing? Those are like the organized phase. Like, do you have that stuff figured out? And then it's also your identity. Do you have the look and feel of your brand? Do you have it written out as a descriptive written content? All these things written out, transcribed. And then also now you can use visuals to help yourself get organized, so you can show the AI what your brand looks like. And the third part of it is the tech. Do you have your tech stack figured out, your websites, your sales funnels, your communication channels, payment systems, your usernames, domains, all that stuff? We always make sure every client has that in place, because without that, it's just really clunky and everything gets more difficult. Then you can optimize. So you're looking here at your main income streams currently. How can you optimize that? And that means getting the sales funnels right, making sure your messaging's dialed in. Before we try to build new stuff, you want to make sure you have your current streams of income optimized as much as possible. And that's one of the big opportunities with AI, is how can we use AI to make that customer experience better? And a lot of what I've built over the years and how I ended up building a really successful course in 2025 was because we took everything we were doing for our private clients and turned that into a new product, because we had streamlined the process that we use for ourselves. So by optimizing what you're already good at, what you're already doing, you can actually build out new streams of income and look for ways that AI, whether it's prompts, tools that you build, systems, workflows, if you want AI to help you more, you have to get that stuff figured out. And that's a good use of your time anyways, because it's going to make you more money and save you more time in the short term while you start building something for the long term. So like our mood board method course, where we started teaching all this, it all came from doing this over and over with clients. And what I did is I went in here and found ways to speed up generating some of this content. And I built prompts and all kinds of resources. And I can show you what I mean by that. What we do is we organize everything and we get all this stuff dialed in. So we have it all handy for ourselves, and then that can become a product. But either way, it makes our internal operations much more effective. So prompt libraries to me are huge, and custom GPTs or tools that you use with your team to speed up repetitive tasks. All right, so that's optimize. And then finally, maximize. Once you have that foundation in place, you're optimizing your current income streams. Now you can actually take advantage of all the really cool stuff, which is, scaling, doing automations, using AI at a whole new level. But again, you can't just jump to that phase. And I think people are trying to like leap from their current situation to like the super advanced stuff without getting the basics figured out. So you have to actually take the time to optimize. And that also means you can make money right now doing that. You can get paid to optimize. I highly recommend that, because you have to fund all the crazy stuff you want to build. It takes a lot of time and effort. As you can see, I've done a ridiculous amount of testing, but I've got paid to do all of that. All right, so that's the plan. I don't know if we have any comments or questions or anything from you, Steph, on those three.
Let's build some brands. We got
all right.
These people submitted their brands to you, correct?
Yep, let's get into it. So that's the plan. And now how do we start to do that? Well, the foundation is key. So we had a lot of people who bought the mood board method submit their brands, and we're going to do a couple of them today and go through a process using the new Nano Banana stuff. The foundation is key, and a lot of them were starting brand new brands, so they didn't really have much of anything. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the first one. And what we always start with is just like basic information, so business details. And we have some of that here from the client. And what I think I'll do is just put a link in here. Let's see if that'll work. I'm going to kind of organize everything on a Miro board, which I love doing. As you can see, like I do all my testing, I will use a Miro board to test it out so I can see, how the AI is doing. I can see my tests, and like we're doing crazy stuff like testing thumbnail designs and just everything. So For me, it's like a big table in the cloud that can help me stay organized.
And you show them how to do this in the mood board?
No, I don't teach Miro. I mean, it's just a
No,
big
no,
Miro
that's
board.
true. Not Miro. Yeah.
Do we have an affiliate link? I don't know. I'm not even really an affiliate. I mean, I think we do, but
We just love Miro.
I just love Miro. And everyone always asks, how do I do all this? And it does really help my brain as you're testing things. It's hard to go back and like see what was working. So I'd recommend trying it out. I mean, they have a free version that you could just test out. Okay, so we're going to start here with the business details. We have some info about them, and we have two things written up. It kind of depends. I like to see a couple different lengths because we're going to test some AI stuff today as well. Can you start with something super simple, or do you need more information? I get that question all the time. One thing to think about with AI is if you give it a lot of information, it'll narrow down the creativity, but it will be more accurate, right? But if you give it less information, it will open up a little bit more creativity from the AI. So it kind of depends on where you're at. So in the early phases here of doing the brand ideas, we could try, there's honestly no right answer here. I've seen good results with like one sentence description of your brand all the way up to like hour-long conversations talking about your brand. It just depends. So let's go ahead and build something out here. Let me go grab my prompt.
So this is the brand flow.
Yeah, these are the steps. And we're going to use Gemini. I'm just going to do this right inside Gemini. So you can kind of get the idea. And we're going to drop in, I'll just drop in some basic, I'm going to give it a little bit more because we have it. And this has a little bit more of what they don't want. So we had people fill out a quick form of what they're looking for. And again, I don't know anything about these brands. What this prompt is going to do, this is new with the mood board method, is you can use Gemini or AI Studio to do this. And Gemini, they have a free version. So what it's going to ask here is I prompted this to say, hey, do you want just one detailed vibe, which is going to try to analyze your business details and then describe it in a way that the AI can understand how it could feel, like how it should be visually impactful. I added this other option here. We can have it come up with 3 different angles, which I find really useful. So if you type in 2, it's going to come up with 3 very different vibes, which are like the way your brand can feel. And from a lot of my testing, this was very powerful because you can really get AI to like show how your brand should feel through the way it writes, that talks. This is a lot of like what differentiates a brand is the overall vibe of it. And so we're going to try to get that to shine through here.
The encoded minimalist. Okay.
Okay, so very interesting here. It's writing this up in a way that I can kind of just copy this. And what we're going to do is copy and paste it and drop it in. Now I'm going to get the other prompt. And if you have the mood board method course, which is on sale right now, you'll get all these prompts. So you can actually go in and open these up. And I'm just going in and copying the little code here. And then you can just paste that in. And now it's going to run that task. So we're going to do that a couple times. You can open up a few different tabs here. And we have our first one that was writing out these 3 different angles. And I'm not sure if I want to put the name here. I think I'll just take this because it might get confused about what the brand name is. And we'll do one more.
People are always mesmerized how Andrew works. Andrew likes to work in layers. So he has like multiple things going at once.
Yeah,
right?
I like to see it all.
Yeah, he wants to see it all.
Okay.
All right.
This is super interesting. I think really, really different than what I expected.
Yeah,
There's some
flow.
cool stuff.
Frequency is the first language. This voice is this like could you give me a little bit of background on this business?
Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, I don't even know much about it. So let's just read here the quick one. A print-on-demand brand creating secret symbol graphics for T-shirts and everyday objects that merge modern aesthetic design. It's probably where we're seeing some of that minimalist look with
deep spiritual meanings.
awakened
I like that.
Visual direction, visually aimed for a clean, luminous, and elegant aesthetic. This is what they requested. So we're avoiding new age cliches like mandalas or pastel rainbows.
Yeah, nobody likes those. I mean, not anymore.
So you can see what the initial request was, or kind of description, which you can do just to kind of talk it out. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. And then the brand vibe report will turn that into a few different directions that are a little bit more detailed. And it's trying to try different things. So this one is super different. So what I'm going to do is download this. And this is where you can pick a direction. So we're going to see some ideas created.
So that was idea 1. This is idea 2. Definitely more on the feminine side, but that's so cool.
This one looks amazing. Wow.
I mean, I'm their customer, so I would be like, yes.
Yeah, you've bought. I see these kind of things show up all the time in the mail.
I already bought them.
Yeah. So
okay,
this
next
one to me is like,
Option 3.
this will get people to pull out their wallet.
Ooh, that's definitely more masculine, but it's like, that's cool.
All right. So we got 3 very different styles, right? And that's kind of the idea of this one. Now we could go back. That's what you get when you do these like 3 very different concepts. So I could try, I think I liked 2. I liked 2 best. Describe that one further. So I'm going to chat with it here, because in this prompt, the brand vibe report, it can go a little bit deeper. So I would try another variation of that, since I can kind of see quickly which one I like. But again, it depends on your own goals and what you're working on, and you can start to make these decisions for yourself.
I almost feel like if she was if this person, I don't know if it's a woman or a man,
I think
was targeting women, then option 2. If they want it to be a little bit more unisex, then option 1. If it's more on the masculine side, option 3.
Yep. So
let me know in the comments, which one do you like more, 1, 2, or 3? I want to hear what the people say.
What I think is pretty cool is having written these prompts. Like, I wrote the prompts based on design systems that I've used, and we'll get into that in a minute. It's pretty good at following this. So it's trying to build a color palette that is a functional color palette, not too many colors. This one would be a little bit tricky with like, what are the main colors? We'd have to extract out from that, because it's very gradient focused. But the nice thing about this type of brand is you have like black and white and like a beige, and then this kind of gradient hue, which can work really well. It's simple. We don't want too many colors. And you'll notice when you're using my system is we're not trying to get a bunch of colors. We can use these kind of gradients because they can be a cool effect. But when it comes down to actual brand colors, you don't want too many. It gets very difficult. This one, though, is a little bit too minimal, where you're like, what is the main color? And not having a main color creates its own challenges. So you can always go black and white. That's going to look good. But sometimes it's hard to create like a really strong call to action somewhere when you don't have that main brand color. And this one, I could see a little bit of that, but I think because it's such a really interesting palette, like you can clearly see the spacing, the look and feel when you're creating sales pages and whatnot. I think the design will work really well. So let me go grab this. We're gonna have it right.
I'm already looking for my credit card so I can buy
I
it.
know. You're ready for their Cyber Monday deal. I'm gonna do another one, and we'll run that prompt again. And again, you can always just go with the first one you like. But for me, when I'm working, especially with clients, we're always looking at where is the agreements, right? You're trying to like pick a direction, and giving a few options and weighing them out can really help. So
yes, this has been really helpful for us because we have an agency as well. This has been really helpful with our clients when we know that we're completely off track or we're like on the right path. Because
it's
it's the worst when you're like, show a client like, hey, this vibe, and they're like, I hate purple or something. We've had that happen in the past.
Yeah, and I'm going to go grab that second one here that we got, which was that luminous future. I like that. And I'm going to pop in just a little thing here, just so we have that written out. That was the short
few people
version.
Watching from X, just so you know.
Oh, cool. What's up? I don't have a lot of followers on X, so happy to have you guys here. All right, we're building brands. We're going through a process. If you're just tuning in, this whole thing is going through this workflow using what I call the mood board method, which is using AI to help you bring a brand to life. And the key thing that we found is the early stage, it's like getting a variety of directions, picking one, and then we can build that out and start to see that come to life really fast. Okay, let's see how this one did. Interesting. And knowing too that you can run it multiple times with the same prompts, you're going to get very different results. This one was the expanded prompt, which can be useful to maybe have it give you a little bit more detailed clarity in the mood board. But the mood board, we're not trying to get perfect. We're just trying to get the direction. So now we can look at two variations of this one, which is basically like the direction I like is this one. Do we have a preference between these? It definitely did a similar kind of typography. What I'm looking for is like the color palette, the fonts, just kind of how it's mocking things up, any patterns and textures. It's doing background imagery, stuff that we can use in various places of the brand. Honestly, I'm feeling the first one. How about you, Steph?
Yeah, the first one.
I like that one a lot.
The first one was so strong.
It's strong. It's clear. It's got a little bit more just like that modern feel to it. So let's stick with that. Now we go into the next phase, which is the written guidelines. If you want to, you can do that next. And I'm going to go ahead and just grab my prompt, which does that. We also have GPT tools. But what you can do is just upload the mood board into it, and it will analyze this. Now I'm going to show you something else that's new as well. That is a useful prompt that I built. I call it the brand font finder prompt. And basically, it'll help you find the font. So we can do that next. But what it's going to do right now is write up a written description. So having the visual description plus the written is useful. Maybe not as much now. I'm able to get away a lot with just the visuals, but earlier this year, not that long ago, it helped a lot having the written as well. And it can still be useful and just have this stuff documented. So it's kind of written out. While that's going, I'm going to drop that other prompt in here to have it try to find those fonts for us. Let's copy this. And I like having a Google Doc open, and we can start to just pop some of this in here so we have it all written out. And this is just describing this so we have a good, clear direction of the look and feel. One thing I didn't do here that I might try actually again, it is useful to have some additional information, which I didn't do. So I'm going to try that again. Oops. With that mood board, and I'm going to drop in the brand guidelines, but I'm also going to give it some of the other information that we initially had, which was all of this. And I think, yeah, maybe it's just the basics. Context. Yeah, I'm going to give it just the basic info. There we go. Okay. It didn't have any of that, so it'll probably make up some stuff and maybe not quite understand. That was purely doing it based on what it saw here in the mood board, which did a pretty good job from what I saw, but adding a little bit of more information can help it complete that task. So we're getting good raw information. That's the foundational piece, right? Written out, a visual brand, mood board, written guidelines. And then we can go into layers. So this is part of that getting organized is, do you have your asset library ready to go? And this is where the AI can really help with that. All right, zooming out here, we're looking at the big plan. We're going through this first brand here. We may just get through one today, and we'll be doing a lot more of these pretty soon.
Yeah. I feel like one is good. Let's do the other few this week.
yeah, we'll keep going. I've got about
Mhm.
we've got a lot of submissions from people who bought the course, and we gave them a chance to just fill out a quick form.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through and start building these out to show you guys the process and why this matters, right? You may be wondering like, well, you're kind of spending a lot of time here, but you'll see why this is so powerful in just a second.
Yeah, because this is like that's the main foundational piece, which dictates everything else.
Okay, so let's go ahead and drop this in. These are the visual brand guidelines. So now it's going to be a little bit more accurate since I gave it some of the details. This is just useful information. You can always go in and edit that down. One thing it doesn't really do a good job of is the exact fonts and colors. So that's one thing I do manually still. It can pick up like the feeling of it and some of the like even the naming of this stuff. Like how would you describe if you want to make future prompts, and have it describe your brand style? It's just really useful to see it written out. So this is great to have all of this stuff written out in a way you know how to communicate your brand more effectively. And the AI appreciates that too. The other prompt that I showed you will actually analyze that and try to find Google fonts. So I like to use 2 fonts, and that's what these mood boards do is they use 2 fonts, a header font and a body font. I try to keep every brand really simple if possible, and I try to use Google fonts because it makes your life so much easier. And sure, you could use some custom fonts here and there, but for most brands, I mean, honestly, it's about speed and efficiency. And you can look really good with a simple Google font. The key for a good brand is just being consistent and using that over and over. And a lot of the best brands have very minimal like color palettes and fonts that they use. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Like good design can just come from clean, simple, consistent typography and colors. Okay, so it's trying to figure out what that font is. I think I've seen that font before. I'm not sure if any of these are it. So we probably have to dig around a bit more. One thing you could try in Google, there's probably other fonts that do this, is you can kind of preview it. So you can type in, where do they have that now? I think they moved it around. You can actually type in, okay, here we go. You can type that in and then start to like whittle down the style of font. And I would look for something that kind of like, it's going to be a serif font, maybe a modern serif. You could try to find something similar as you look at these. Actually, this is a sans serif. Oh yeah. It's more of a modern sans serif, which is actually the AI was getting confused with that. It was doing serif fonts. So yeah, we're getting into the weeds of this, but once you figure it out, AI can kind of help you. It's not perfect at identifying fonts, but that would be the strategy. Let's see how it did with the body font. This definitely feels like it's not Montserrat. Almost feels like a quicksand, or that's more of a. Oh, I know that one. What is it?
I can't help you with
these?
this. I'm not a designer.
You don't have to pick the exact one. Gosh, I've used that font so many times because that W, it's a clear, but it's actually a little bit more modern, so it may not be that one. Railway, I think, is what I was looking for. Anyway, that would be the next step, is to get the exact fonts and colors. But as of right now, it's still not perfect. This one looks pretty close. I think it feels like it fits the brand. It's got a nice font weight, so I may consider using that. This actually looks like it could be the header font. Oh, maybe it did identify it.
That looks pretty.
Pretty close, huh? So
Yeah.
You could almost get there with something like that. So the AI kind of pulled out something, maybe had an idea in there. Okay. So finding those fonts, the colors, this palette is really tricky. So it's obviously not a simple color palette. So we have to play around with that. But to do that, let's start doing the fun stuff. So now we have the mood board. I'm literally just going to drop this in. I may drop in what other information. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is take some of the basic info up here. All right, I like this info that we have. So getting some basic info about the business. Okay, it actually added it up here. So that's probably good enough, but I'll just drop in a little bit more info. Doesn't really hurt. Okay, we have all this, and let's go ahead and go to, where do we do it? Here we go. I'm going to drop in all that information, and now we're going to use a prompt that will help us bring this to life. So a couple things I like to do is I like to jump into mockups just to see what the AI is capable of. And one of them is the sales deck mockup, which is really powerful because it kind of shows you the intelligence of these new image models, which are pretty mind-blowing. So I'm going to have it create a sales deck mockup. So it's going to take the information it knows about it, the mood board, and the beauty in like the mood board method means if you give it a mood board image like that, it can kind of take that as a foundation and start to build things for you and bring your brand to life. It's really good at doing that. And while that's running, I'm going to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And let's drop in all of this again. And let's go find.
You got a comment from YouTube. Just bought the course.
Hey.
Hey, welcome to the mood board. Welcome to the fam.
Love hearing that. Well, this is a good little step-by-step training for you.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more training inside the course so it's evolving though so fast. I'm going to start doing a lot more live demos, and we'll crunch these down too to make them easier to watch the replays.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool what I've seen, what people have created since you launched this in May, correct?
Yeah. Okay, check this out.
So, whoa, what is this?
Whoops. Okay, let's pull this up over here because we're going to start to go into mock-up land because I like that better. You saw the written guidelines, which we have. It's actually the same document. So we put it in the same doc. The brand layers, we'll come back to that because it's way more fun to actually see the mock-ups. So check this out. This is a good way to test to see if you're on the right track with your brand direction. Like how good is it at like telling your story? It can actually sell your products for you, like the frequency gap, modern life distress. So it's actually identifying the problem here. We're making one up. Modern life disrupts natural rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool visual. Like that's interesting, right?
That's beautiful.
Our solution, alignment through light, introducing the collection, science of vibration, elevate your daily
literally
presence.
take my credit card. I want this.
Like what your testimonials could look like.
Oh, wow.
Conscious living. So it's kind of doing like a pitch deck to like an investor or something.
Yeah.
It's showing your ideas. This is, in one shot. You saw me do this in real time.
Yeah.
Super powerful for I like getting ideas of like, how could I present this and pitch this? That's what I like. And I built prompts that do a lot of things like this. So we're going to explore a few more. Let's see what we did over here, which is background images. All right. This is more of the brand layers. Okay. So looking back,
websites and social media. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Since Gemini now is working better for image generation, should I create Gemini gems instead of custom GPTs?
Yeah, you totally could. And I haven't spent a lot of time exploring that. First step for me was just giving you the prompts so you could use them inside something like Google Gemini, which you can now. But they have a similar process that a custom GPT would do, or a project inside ChatGPT. It's called gems. The bummer right now is you can't share them. So I haven't played there because I normally use custom GPTs to build out tools that I can share or use with my team and share them with our clients. Can't do that right now with Gemini, but you can do it internally and load this stuff in. So I would definitely start to load in at least your mood board and then some of the written guidelines and basic information about your brand. And now you can start to build out, or at least see like your brand layers, right? So when you're building websites, this is the kind of imagery you're going to want. And let me show you a quick hack right now, which is using Mixboard. And one thing that I've found in Mixboard, and it's experimental, so I'm not going to say it's perfect, but let me try this. Okay. What you can do is drop it into Mixboard. I can click on this. And where's my little chat bot?
You're like, where did it go?
Did they just change the whole thing? Like, okay. Okay, it's totally different now, or it's broke. Let me reload it. Okay, there it is. Okay, so click that, pop in a prompt like this, create each one of the images on its border as its own high resolution image. I'm going to do horizontal image. Okay. So when you create something like this, it'll make a bunch of ideas of background imagery that you could use for your designs, your website, social media content. Background images are a really powerful part of any brand. And this used to take, honestly, hours of hunting through like stock sites for like textures and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, I used to be in Envato for like
Yeah.
I used to spend like 4 hours just looking for stock stuff.
Let's see how it did. It's really hit or miss. These aren't the best, but it's actually pretty close. You can see what it's doing here. You're kind of on the right track, and it may be that these are too busy, or it's just not hitting the mark, which is understandable. The other thing you could do is go in and do this. You can take a screenshot. Whoops. And you could regenerate this as a high resolution image. One thing you'll notice too is in Gemini, you're going to get these watermarks on all your images. It's hard to see there, but you'll see it more in like where we have a darker. You're going to get these little watermarks, and the resolution isn't as high as it could be. You could use AI Studio, and it's still basically free. I mean, you get like $300 in credits with AI Studio, but it's really cheap. I've spent like not very much money at all, like literally like under $10 doing hundreds of tests. So it's not going to cost you much. AI Studio, you have to hook up your API, and you can do up to 4K resolution, and you can have more control over the outputs. And it won't, as of right now, it won't have this watermark. So that's a way to get around that if you're worried about that kind of stuff, which can make a big difference if you're creating like YouTube thumbnails. And speaking of that, let me mock up some thumbnails. So all of these mock-up prompts here, let's do the sales funnel one. Just want to show you like why I love doing this and what we're really doing in this early stage. So I recommend doing this when you are like in a playful energy. Here, the early stages of getting your foundation, it's all about.
So like the vibe is hitting, the coffee, the matcha, you're in a playful energy.
And you're building a library of assets. So you can start to put all of the images you like into what I use Google Photos. I create an album, and then I have an album of all these images. And this really helps you down the road when you start to actually create stuff, build your websites, your funnels, your YouTube, any product offerings or whatever it is. Okay, let's see. Sales funnel mockups. Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. That is so cool.
We'll start to see, you see how it's actually getting better at design. So we can start to see what the brand, this actually feels like a lot of the brands I actually bought from. Everyday Dose is kind of.
Yeah, that coffee brand you just bought from.
Yeah, let's take a look because their brand is actually pretty similar. And I see the style. Look at this. It's like a similar. And this was actually, I was thinking this is one of the best sales funnels and pages I've ever seen. Like I could not resist buying this.
Yeah, Andrew's really, really picky marketer. He's been a marketer since 2012, right? If something's really good, I would, go to their website, look at their funnel. It's really
study
good.
what they're doing. But this brand is actually feeling like it because I was like, oh, wow. I kind of see that same modern, it's very modern, very effective design, right?
And then what's the slide design system? Is that the next part, or are we still on the mock-ups?
Yeah, so this is, let me show you a couple more things, like how I start to build this out. I have all these prompts for different things, kind of depends on the brand and what you're looking for, but you can start to see things like even like logo ideas. You can have it mock up some ideas. You can get in the weeds of all this because honestly, this normally would take a lot of time, and to just kind of play and get a bunch of ideas. I'm just going to show you my actual process, which is more like this, where we are building out a folder like this. So I'm going to start dumping stuff in here. I use Miro and I use Google folders, or Google, not folders, Google albums, Google photos.google.com. Like an album. So you have it all in there, and you can see the brand kind of come to life. And then when you sit down to do something, you have inspiration. And inspiration is really helpful, but also having the assets. So you do want to start to get these assets in a high resolution. And that's one thing that I can show you, but I need to go find, how did I do that? I have a good prompt that I want to show you guys. Okay, what did we do here? Oh, look at this. Logo ideas.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not that one.
And you can use this for yourself. You can use this in your agency. You can use this for clients. There's not a lot of people right now that are using it in this system, in this way. So definitely get on the competitive edge.
This is so cool looking.
Yeah.
I have a new one too that is again, these are all kind of experimental. As we get going, you can see that this is going to be just even crazier and crazier, and all the things I've kind of mocked up in here that it'll do for you. This one I haven't even made images for, but it's meant to kind of like create. I'll just run it again. And this is a different one that's a little bit more like a brand kit. So this is different ideas. You see it's doing like word mark, letter mark, just a bunch of different types of logos. So you can kind of see what you may like and what direction you want to go in. But they can be used for different things, right? You can have different versions of a logo, and even sub brands. If you're launching like an event or a program or like other parts of your brand, you may need assets for that too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can quickly see what it may look like. Okay, this is more of like a branding kit, how it did it, slightly different, but pretty cool. So part of that,
incredible. So we got the brand layers, we got the mock-up. What's the next step?
All right, you're always pushing me to move.
I am.
Okay, so
if you buy the mood board, you'll see when we did this, like, what was it? This AI bot workshop. I kind of pushed you a little bit in that. We always get emails about it.
All right, that's where I'm going with this. Let me just see. I like to grab stuff so I have it. We did this one. We did the logo. Oh yeah, let me try to find that for you real fast. There's a really good prompt that can. Actually, a buddy of mine was trying to go through this, and he's like, "Dude, I can't get it to make this logo high res." So I was like, "Let me try." And sure enough, do I have it? Oh, I know where it is. Okay, I'm gonna grab this real quick, and then we will. So if you like a logo, and then this is one thing we can look at right now. What else can the AI do? Let's say we like one of these, and it's kind of low res, but I do think this one's kind of close to what we had, right? This one here is kind of cool. You could take a screenshot. Let me go find. All right, this was the prompt I used. Okay, let's just do a brand new. Gmail, we'll do Gemini. We can drop in that like rough screenshot, and this prompt here, recreate this logo exactly the same, but as a super high res and perfectly designed logo, like a pro designer created it and is giving it to the client. So we have this really low res logo. Use this prompt here, and that's where we're kind of pulling things out. This is my workflow. I like to get AI to think for me and show me a lot of stuff.
This is so good because I remember in 2017, I got in a fight with that designer because she wouldn't give us the high res files. She literally was holding it hostage for us. This was one of my brands in 2017. And she was like, you need to pay me, I think it was like $3 or $4 grand for the high res file. Have times changed?
Yeah, no more of that.
Yeah.
So we can get the higher resolution. It's not, again, you can go to AI Studio and get 4K resolution, which is pretty mind blowing, but that's already looking pretty good. I like to get into black and white. No, just no texture, just simple vector, black and white. Now it won't do vector. I'll show you a trick real fast on that. So again, as you're building out the brand, the assets, the look, the feel, this is how you can use AI to do this stuff. Now, eventually you'll want to get to a point where it's making graphics. So the last one I want to show is I really love the YouTube because you can see, we can search for it. Where is it? Okay, YouTube channel. Let's just do the, we can actually search up here. Okay, we'll do the YouTube thumbnail mockups. And there we go. We got this one. I'll do, and this is where you see me like repeating myself over and over. If you had a gem that had all this information loaded in, theoretically, it would be able to handle that and do it much faster. So that would be the shortcut there. You could also get like download this as a document on your computer, and like I would probably download this as I found best with a plain text document. And then you can just kind of upload that in, and it will have that stuff. So you're really just right now uploading the mood board and the description with some basic business details and the visual brand guidelines, and it can do a great job of following that. But if nothing else, it can even just use the mood board. You don't have to add any other info. Okay, and let that run, the YouTube. And let me show you one cool, let's see, gamma.new. You can go to Gamma. This is a paid site, and there's a shortcut that you can open up a new Gamma. I pay them, but I just want to show you like some AI tools have this option where you can vectorize it. So you saw my process of getting this logo, and then I can go ahead and edit with AI, and I can, do they have vector? Did they remove that? Because they used to have a vector option. Vectorizing image. Hopefully it'll do it. It used to work pretty well, but there are other AI tools that will do it. Sometimes it'll say it did and then it doesn't. So let's see. Let's download that. Where is my, I don't use it as much. Where's my download option? Okay, if I open it up, SVG. Let me open that with, I'm trying this new affinity tool. You may need to, you know what you could do is probably check this one out. Clipping Magic is a site that I like a lot, and you can just drop in. I pay like $3 or $4 a month for this, and it's so useful because I can just like cut out that background. So if you don't want to deal with editing this stuff later, if you vectorize it with a transparent background, then it may not need any editing after that. We'll try it out. Okay, here's the vectorize. I don't know why it didn't before. So click on the image. I did the little AI and then vectorize. Okay. So that's using Gamma. Again, there's all these different tools to do this stuff, but I find this one to be pretty good. And then I'll open up Canva just so you can see if it actually, you can do the same thing with Canva, canva.new. And you can just open up brand new Canva, and I'll just drop in a design, and then we're going to take this and let's download that. Hopefully it's already see-through. Let's see how it did. Yeah, look at that. Now you have like a logo that's vectorized that you can change the colors.
So cool. So Andrew, why don't we start wrapping up, because I want to keep this under an hour, and then show we can do the other brands this week.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing I would do, and this is where we did a lot and there's so much more we can do. Let's take a look, just close out all this. So we did the logo stuff. This is so cool. The YouTube. Look at.
Wow.
And I think I like seeing the YouTube and like realistic things you would need it to do for you. because you can start to see like, oh, that's where I would need those background images, right? Like what makes good design is often just a couple good background images, the logo, a simple typography, and then good stock photos too, which, oh my gosh, like I got to show you guys stock photo ideas, right? So stock photo ideas, they can help you do the same thing. I'll just drop it in. We'll test it out with no other information. It can just analyze the mood board and it will do it. And then I'll do, what else would there be? I like the founder photo shoot. If you want to know what kind of photos you should take for your brand, we have a lot of photographer friends out there. And actually, I'm going to go grab some info because that may help it. Oh, let's try dropping the text file. There we go. The text and the mood board. Let's see how it handles that. You can probably understand what's going on. Okay, here are stock photo ideas.
That's pretty.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Start to build out a library, and then you can do the same thing. You could do that. You could do a similar prompt that I gave you earlier, where you go in, you take a picture of it or take a screenshot and be like, give me a nice high res version of this. Or you could try something like Mixboard, like I did earlier, and tell it to create an image, like turn all these into their own image. Then you can download those. Then I would just go in and start to upload all that into a nice folder where we have all these in one place, so you don't lose stuff. I don't know if you can add an SVG. Can you? I'm going to try. I didn't try doing that. Yeah, I didn't think so. But you can add the cutout PNG logo. I'd also put all this on a folder on my computer. I'd put it in a folder in Google as well, just backing stuff up and staying organized. Again, that's the kind of the message here, is get organized before you start to go try to build. And that's where I use Google. We can put like brand assets. And I would start to upload some of this stuff. Like that's where you could put the SVG, so you have that backed up. The scalable vector graphic. So vector is just a better version of the logo. But you also want to have PNG, vector, or a raster graphics. And let's go look at this last one here. Oh, okay, that's one thing I did notice. So that's a bummer. It's really like it gets confused when you add a text file. So it doesn't work that well. I'm surprised. I thought it was maybe just PDF. I was testing with PDF. So let's go ahead and do. So don't add a file right now. You do want to add in the actual text at the bottom. So this still works the best on Gemini for whatever reason. Adding all that in is still the better option. And this is so fun because you can plan a photo shoot. Like any photographer should be doing this. Hint, hint, Steph. We need to talk to our photographer friends because they need to have like a feel for the brand, the look, the vibe. Mm-hmm. The stock photos of photographers should definitely be
at the very beginning of when they do their planning, strategic planning.
Yeah, because I prompted it to be like, what kind of scenes do we need? What kind of like objects and symbolism and like overall feel? And so it gives you a nice wide variety of the type of images that you could use. And then here is, check this out, the founder photo shoot. Look at that.
Wow. That's so beautiful and so cohesive and professional looking.
Look how useful that is for a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you're just going to go hire a photographer, like you should have this prepared, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone should do this preparation now.
So this client got a brand upgrade. She was somebody that got the mood board method and wanted Andrew to design her brand, which you promised. What was the promise you do if you would do?
I'm not promising everybody, but you have a chance.
You have a chance. Yeah.
If you fill it out.
I think you should do more of these. These were really fun. Let us know in the comments if you liked Andrew doing these.
Yeah. And I'll just show you the last thing that I've never really showed anyone.
Oh yeah.
Let's
do this.
The next level. So like how I actually go, to me, the fastest way to start to bring it to life is using this system that I built on Google. And basically what we're doing here is we can load in the fonts and colors and start to see the more cohesive look. And this is the challenge. This is where the rubber hits the road. You need to actually be able to do this to have a legit brand. Because like seeing this is one thing, but like what do you do next? It's really hard to know what to do. And honestly, with this brand, it's a little bit tricky. So there is a tool. Since I'm not seeing the exact color palette, I'm going to go try. I have another prompt that can help me with that. And this is why I generally say in the early stages, do this where we do the fonts and colors, fonts and color combos. All right, let's see. And I don't need any other info. We're just going to drop that in. And I'm going to drop in the mood board. This will try to extract out. So some of my prompts are just extracting out what it's seen in the mood board. So the photography ones, like the stock photos, the backgrounds, it's looking at the mood board and trying to say, okay, these are the kind of images we should create. In this case, it's going to try to extract out what are the exact fonts and colors and how do they combine together. And this is what I need to really like make my brand more legit. Try without gradients. I need the actual color palette. So it's definitely struggling with, I mean, it looks beautiful and I like some of the things it's doing. But what I need is the actual colors for this brand. And we could see the like light background. There's a couple in there. Okay, that's interesting. That's definitely different, but I can see how they work together. So in that case, I could try using this. Let's take a look here.
Your system that no one's seen you do.
I know, this is what I do for all my clients. Not that one. Where is it? This one? Yeah, okay. The actual colors. Not what I would expect, but I do see it now. Okay, so we need a main brand color, which I'm going to go with that green because it's strong enough to hold down the fort. Let's try a secondary, which I'm going to go with that one. We're going to go with the dark may actually is probably going to be this one. Whatever we use for that logo.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of brands are tricky. I'm not going to lie. So you're seeing it, you're like, doesn't look like the brand at all.
Because of the gradients and the lights and stuff.
Yeah. So what we have to do here is like the background colors are going to pull the weight a lot with this. And that's where, I don't have a high res background. I can go grab one, I guess. If I can find it. I don't think I can. I'll just show you. We want to get these high res backgrounds because that actually pulls the weight of this brand a lot. And that color is actually brighter than I thought. So I have to go back and look, and that actually is the background color. Interesting. Okay, that's definitely, okay, I see those colors in there now. So we wouldn't really go with solids. It's easier with solids. It's much trickier with these kind of like fractal or like colorized backgrounds. And this color palette, like I mentioned, would be tricky to work with. We'd pull the background imagery a lot for this brand to make it look unique. But otherwise, you do need some basics. And it's weird, but like this is kind of the basics. You wouldn't think so. But what we can look at is the next thing. Let me just name this one. So this kit here is meant to help you kind of pull it together. I'm not going to be teaching this in depth right now, but I just want to show you what I do in my own workflow. I'm using Google Slides for some crazy stuff. We can import this theme. And now I could start to like see the brand coming together. Like what could it look like? And I would definitely play around with some of the imagery. We'd probably have to like create some kind of gradient or even go with like, I'd go with more black. Like that would fit better. Oh, the typography too. We didn't get that dialed in, but you can update the fonts. as well. So we'd go with one of those. I'm going to do just something really simple. I'm not going to actually get this right now, but it's basically a simple. Actually, it wasn't. I'll just play with that. Do something thin. And now we can.
And so what are you doing here?
Well, I'm just kind of showing the next steps.
Okay.
Which are like probably getting way in the weeds now.
Let's wrap up because they're starting the weed whackers outside too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Let me just show you real quick.
okay.
I'm almost done. Okay. So we start to see, like, once you have the fonts and colors, we'd have to play around with, like, what does this brand actually look like? And if this green color isn't working right, I would probably start to tinker and say, you know what? I'm going to actually go with that purple maybe as the main color. So this is where the tinkering comes in, but you do have to fine tune this. So I'm going to actually go grab that purple, and I think that this combo may actually feel better. And then the imagery, I would want to get all the high res, but you could start to kind of like just grab stuff and play around with it. And even like the icons and stuff like that. So I would play around with, like, what would the photos look like once they're in there?
Oh, that's really pretty.
And you could just start to see like a brand come to life. This is meant to just help you experiment with all these different elements. And these are just templates that I've kind of built for the different pieces that you need. We talked about marketing, messaging, monetization. The messaging part is your sales funnel. So like lead capture pages, your homepage. It's like what happens after you get their attention and get them to click, they go somewhere, right? That's what I call messaging, because you have to have really tight, clear communication to move them along and present your brand, your offers, your overall message really effectively in your sales funnel. And that's where you need, again, it would be a continuation of what they saw on like YouTube. Now they click, they go through this, and then you would just continue that experience after they buy. You need all the content on the inside or whatever the onboarding looks like for that new customer. So that's it. Let me zoom out. I think I lost my Miro board where I was showing all this. Let me go find it real quick. There we go. All right. So recap of what we went through today. We went through the steps here. I mean, that's the process for a new brand, but in an hour, that would normally honestly take a week for a client to like get that far. And
No way. That used to take like months.
Like a
3
month
months.
to make decisions, get clarity. Now, and we can do that. Like we literally do this on calls with clients. Now, like, which one do you like? Do you like this direction? And that's where this first step is so key, and why we made the mood board method was because getting on the same page with you, your team, your designers, it's honestly like very hard. And you'd be piecing the stuff together from like templates or inspiration. You can actually just generate it from scratch with AI and then build out from there. Now it's like, well, what do I do with this? Well, that's where the other prompts come in, because you can see now, okay, I'm going to start to actually build the brand, and you get all the pieces you need. You start to see what it could look like. The next steps are like actually building this. And that's where I think by the end of next year, probably end of 2026, and we're almost there already, you'll just tell it to go build it, right? It'll be like, cool, I like that deck, go make it. We're almost there. It's kind of close already, but that's the direction AI is going. So it comes down to you being the creative director and knowing what kind of pieces that you need, and then how to, knowing how to get AI to do it for you at a high level. Woo. All right.
And if they want any more information of our products and services, they can go to designhacker.com/products.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that's it for today. We're going to wrap up there. We'll do a lot more demos soon. And yeah, I'm super excited about this new Nano Banana Pro model and what's possible. It's really good at helping you with these kind of tasks.
One brand in under an hour and 10 minutes.
Probably less than an hour. I mean, probably like 40 minutes. We did all that.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Good job. High five.
And that's the foundation. Like we said, if you want to really build and grow, having the foundation is key. The next thing is optimizing the income streams. The sales funnel is actually starting to build that stuff out. And then you want to maximize, which is how do you go to the next level? And that's where if you have the foundation in place, you can start to leverage a lot of the new technology that's coming out down the pipeline, get AI to do more and more for you. But the people who are winning right now have that foundation. And I just see a lot of new people trying to start up and like build new things from scratch. And it's like, how do I take those massive steps and kind of do that much faster and compress the timeline and get a better result in just a few hours versus going back and forth or spending weeks doing research? All right, I'm gonna wrap up there.
Yep. Bye,
And
everyone.
hey, if you're watching, check out designhacker.com. We got some freebies, free training, more, basics to go check out, resources for you. And of course, we have some special deals right now. So go to the products page to see all the best deals that we have available. Cool.